This episode is sponsored by The Break Room, downtown's best spot for a hot lunch every business day.
On this episode, Old Prairie Town, Topeka Votes, City of Character, Mobertz, and So You Think You're Funny.
Oh, kids. Well, we have in the studio with us ice cream. Now, Carice is here. So, Carice should stick around for this.
Yeah, if you would have said ice cream 20 minutes before when I arrived, there would have been no question. I mean, of course, I would always stay, and I love being on air with you in the mornings. But what could be better for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or any time than ice cream? So,
well, our
John, you
generous benefactor is John Bell from Old Prairie Town. Of course, we're looking at some. It's starting to melt.
Oh, you better start digging
in. We're going to start digging in while this is here.
John can just lead the thing,
Patton drugstore is where you can get these fine creations here.
That's right. We have all kinds of great ice cream and soda fountain treats. And we are open 7 days a week. We sell old-fashioned candy, but we have a wide variety of ice cream and soda fountain treats that will melt your heart.
That is really good. I love the old school, the glass that it's in as well. And, this is gonna, sound bad. So I like just traditional sundaes, So I've got the ice cream here, I've got the strawberry syrup, I've got the whipped cream, I've got the cherry, and thank you that I have the little nuts on top. Everybody forgets those, you forget it, and you just need that. So fantastic, that is good. Yep. Well, we've got, let's see, there's other things here too that you.
There's all kinds of good stuff.
This is the drugstore with the ice cream and just an amazing experience. People should get their kids out there and do it. Or you don't have to bring the kids out. It's a great little afternoon date to go out and check out Old Prairie Town. And you have so many different facilities out there. We've talked a little bit about the facilities.
I know you guys have several events there. I've gone to the Wheat Stock that's been down there for music. We were down there last year for Topeka Civic Theater's Art of Murder, kind of corporate events. And I don't remember the name of it, but I was down there one year, and I wanted to say it had to do with the railroad history. They had like a little petting zoo set up, and I remember we opened up and we went through and saw some of the historic stuff about the trains and boxcar and stuff. So
I'm not 100% sure. It might have been the Cowboy Days.
That's it. That was it. Okay, yeah.
We ended that event a few years ago just because one, it was in July. It was really hot.
It was really hot. Yeah.
And the attendance wasn't as good as we would have liked to have seen.
And that's what we're trying to help. We're gonna make sure
that's right.
People need to get here. Like the ice cream.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not really.
No, you're fine. Well, in addition to the drugstore, we have the schoolhouse, we have a church, we have a log cabin, we have the Mulvane General Store that operates as our gift shop and visitor center, and then we have the Heart of the Park, which is a Ward Meade mansion, and it was built by the Ward family, and it was completed in 1874, and it's all part of the tour. So if you come, we do tours 7 days a week, and you can come and get a tour with a guided tour guide. And
that's really
now
cool.
How much do the tours cost for people?
They're $5 for adults and $4 for seniors, and then children 12 to 18 they're $3.
Okay, and then 12 and 11 under is free.
Yep, 11 under free. So very affordable.
That's basically like nothing at all. I mean, for what you're getting, especially a tour, and I know that the tour guides have such a fun time.
They do. They really love it. A lot of them live, eat, and breathe it, and they just can't get enough because there's so much history there, and there's so much history in Shawnee County, and we're just a small little piece in the big puzzle. But I really encourage anybody who's not been out to Old Prairie Town to come check us out, and we are open 7 days a week. The Patton Drugstore, it's open Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and then Sunday noon to 4. And we offer tours Monday through Friday at 10, noon, 2, and then Saturday at noon and 2, and then Sunday at 2 o'clock. So you
can just show up for the tour.
Yeah, you don't have to call. Just show up at one of those times that I listed and take a tour.
See, I love that. I didn't know. I guess I assumed you could do tours, but I didn't know that they were that consistent. And you know, I've been out there and I've self-guided myself, but one of the things is I've never been inside the mansion. And so that right there is worth it to me, as well as hearing all of the history with it. You know.
You're right.
You don't pay anything to get in. You can go just look
Right, you can
around.
do what I've done, right.
Yeah.
In addition to the historic building area, we have a fabulous botanical garden, and we're working on enhancing that and growing that, but all of that's free to roam around, and we have a number of citizens that live in the neighborhood that just come to walk, and they just do their daily walk at Old Prairie Town and the botanical garden. It's a great place.
Being there, everybody's got to do it.
That's
so,
right.
yeah.
Everybody loves the train.
They do.
And you know, something I think more people need to do, they ride the train, the carousel this summer, and you don't have to wait till this summer. Get out and get some ice cream at Old Prairie Town.
That's right.
Because it's really important that you can take your kids to this great place, you could submerge them in history, and you can give them ice cream, and it's a perfect way to bribe them into learning about our heritage.
That's
right?
right.
You can bribe me into it. What are you doing Saturday?
That's right. Yeah, that was very well said. Very well said.
Well, John, thank you so much for joining us. Please come back and keep us updated on anything that's happening. Gage Park, Old Prairie Town, anything with Parks and Rec, please do.
I will.
And if you bring brown bread ice cream, I mean, I'll have it before I have to go this
coming
weekend,
back.
but I will come
All
back.
right,
So
all
just
right,
let me
all
know.
right.
She's going to be mad if she's here when there's brown.
Yeah, I will.
I will bring some.
Well, folks, it's very important that you vote.
Absolutely.
This is Angel Romero. How are you doing, Angel?
I'm doing well. Couldn't have said better myself.
What a way to open. I mean, get right to the point.
Exactly.
Vote, right?
Exactly.
No, it's really interesting. You started a Facebook page called Topeka Votes.
Yep, that's correct.
Yeah, we need to encourage people to get involved with the process here.
We do. You know, and it kind of just spurred. There was a day, I think at the end of last year's local elections, I was reading an article in the Capital Journal, and I think I just got fed up and said, you know, we can't have in a city of 125,000 some odd people have only 15,000 people vote and make the decision for a community that large. And so it really just kind of stuck with me ever since then.
You absolutely can't have that. I mean, we've got, such a dismal turnout for voting, and it's not just in general. Like the last election, what do we have? Like a 40%? And then we go to, you know, so we need to work on this.
We do.
And we have a tie back a little bit here. Kids voting Kansas.
Right, absolutely,
right?
yeah.
Okay. When I was 18, I was an intern for Ron Thornburg.
Sure.
Who ran kids voting office,
Yeah.
and then I moved on, and then I found out that you got involved with kids voting as well, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
That was it was a great part of my life. It's something I'm still involved in, and something I still believe in a lot. I think my experiences with that and lots of other involvement in the community have kind of stuck with me. This is a community where you can be involved and you should be involved, and you do have a voice, and people in the community really do listen to what people have to say. And so to have that opportunity to not use it is something that really just kind of stuck with me and really kind of gets at me. And so I want people to be able to express themselves more. And I think one of the most effective ways you can do that is through voting.
Yep, and getting involved with the process as
Absolutely.
well. You know, people need to read. You know, they need to study, do their homework.
Absolutely. Well, and there's information that's out there, and you know, sometimes information might not be easy to find, but you know, I think it's our duty as citizens to be informed before we go out to vote and to find that information and to ask the tough questions. There's a lot of issues in our city right now, a lot of things on the table before the city council, a lot of important things, I think, and a lot of ways that our community can move forward, and lots of things to discuss. And you know, we need to be able to be active participants in what's going on. And I think there's too much at stake to choose to sit out the process.
It really is an important step to, well, it's our responsibility.
Absolutely,
Right? It's not people call it a right.
Right.
It's a responsibility more so. It is a right.
Right. No,
But it's our responsibility. There's not a whole lot of things, you know.
Exactly.
We have to pay taxes. We have to die. We have to vote.
Right. You boil it down, it's pretty simple that way.
Yeah. And you know what? If you vote, it can affect both of those things. So voting is probably even more important than any of that. So.
Exactly.
Especially, you know, for our organization, a lot of people in Topeka have really gotten involved, and you see a lot of them might be scared of politics. You know, they might be scared of, you know, throwing their hat in the ring for something, or they might not think that they feel like they know enough about what's going on to be able to go vote. So What do you think we should do about that? Like,
Sure. Well, and I think one of the things that what I want to do with Topeka Votes, it started off as the social media presence, the Facebook page, Twitter page, where we put updates out and just information about the process in general, what people should be looking for, and trying to keep people up to date. But I would like to see us kind of mobilize more volunteers to put on more events like for public forums, to put candidate information together, to have a website that's maintained that people can go to access information. I definitely think there's an even more active role for people to take to be involved. And so I'm looking forward to working with people over the next couple of months to really put things together, put avenues together for people to be able to access that information, to really kind of spread the word to their friends and neighbors about getting involved in this effort.
The important part here is to go on Facebook if you have Facebook and like the Topeka Votes.
Right, yep, it's
page.
Facebook.com/Topeka Votes, and on Twitter it's at Topeka_Votes.
That's pretty simple, right?
That's the way I like to keep it.
So, I mean, what else can we say other than vote?
Absolutely, yep. Elections will be coming up in the primary on March 3rd, and then a general election on April 7th.
And a lot of the people involved in our community, you don't have to run for office to get involved, but a lot of the initiatives we've seen of people working for good things in the community, trying to move things forward, they're just get civically involved.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be everything or a whole lot of things. If there's just that one issue that you are passionate about and you feel like you have ideas or something that you can bring to the table, I encourage people to do it, because it only takes one organization, that one activity, that one thing you choose to be involved in your community to really make a difference.
There's an awesome example of that, and I cannot remember the gentleman's name. Such a wonderful guy, but he was tired of driving by fire hydrants that weren't painted.
Right.
So
Yeah.
have you met this guy?
I've heard about that story. Yeah.
Yeah, and he went in and he talked to the people, said, "How do I get involved?" And he started painting fire hydrants.
Exactly.
It's one thing that you can do when you identify something and say, "I can make a difference here."
Right, and
if you don't, then no one will ever make a difference with it.
Exactly.
So you have to take that initiative, and before you do that, you have to vote.
Absolutely.
So, very good, Angel.
Well, good
thank
deal.
you so much for coming in and telling people that they need to get involved with the process, because I couldn't agree more.
Well, thanks for having me. Looking forward to seeing people at the polls.
Well, folks, we have another wonderful lady here in the studio with me. It's Cindy Patton. She's with Topeka City of Character. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me on the show,
thanks for
Chris.
joining us. I really do appreciate you coming in here. Now, Topeka City of Character does the Champion of Character Awards every month.
Yes, we recognize somebody in the community who has shown a character trait that and usually it's like something that they've done, and some special thing they've done that helped the community in some way, helped the health or the safety of the community, and then we recognize them as a champion of character. And when you make that nomination, you say what character quality that they demonstrated, and so it makes it a really nice way to emphasize the people who are doing great things in Topeka.
And there are a lot of those people.
There are. We've been doing that for 4 years, but we need a nomination for February. So if anybody has a nomination, be sure you let us know. You can go to our website, topekacharacter.org, and make a nomination.
I was just looking at that here.
You can just email me at topekacityofcharacter@gmail.com.
Now, who are the people we're looking at for this? Who should be nominated?
Well, anybody. I mean, it doesn't have to be anybody special. It can just that they've done something that demonstrates good character, and it could be, we've had little kids, that have been nominated,
and hero kids.
Little hero kids, and teenagers and adults. It can be anybody, and we just love to hear the stories that they tell for the nomination. So you just give us the information, and how to contact those people so that they can be present for the award, and we make that award on Safe Streets the first Wednesday of every month at the Safe Streets meeting.
At the coalition meeting over at the Great Overland Station.
Right.
Great location for it over there.
Yes.
Wonderful. Well, you have an event that's popping up as well.
We do.
Tell us about what's going on.
We're having M.K. Mueller come in. She's a speaker, and she has written several books, one of which is 8 to Great. And what she talks about are 8 things that you can do, change your life, make you a better person. And And the great thing about that is that attitude is so important, and that's what she talks about. There's a study that was done by Express Employment Professionals, and the respondents were asked to rate various traits on a scale of 1 to 5, and attitude topped the list. And that's exactly what this character college is all about. M.K. Mueller found herself in a homeless shelter and learned a lot from that experience, and she has taken that and crafted it into a way of thinking and living a life that is just inspirational. And I know people will get a lot out of this character college that we're having. It's February 12th, 2015, and the tickets are $75. That includes your meals, and it goes from 8:30 to 3:30. But if you're too busy to make an all-day thing, you can come in, hear her as a keynote for lunch only, and that's $40.
You know, a lot of people they dream, and then they get into business or they get into their job, and then they're worried about goals.
Right.
That is a really important piece.
It's a very
to be able to
important
continue
thing.
to dream.
Yes.
Once you do it. You know?
Yes, because sometimes we quit dreaming.
Yeah.
You know, there's I don't know where I was reading this, but it was a really interesting piece about they were asking people what their dreams were. I know it was second half. That, you know, talking about people who have reached maybe the pinnacle of their profession, and they're thinking about how can I make my second half of my life meaningful, and they've forgotten how to dream. And so this would be a great opportunity for you to get used to thinking in terms of, well, what are my dreams? How can I make those happen? And that's what the second half is about. What are the steps we're going to take to make those dreams a reality?
So that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, and when people are dreaming, wonderful things happen.
Absolutely. Well, Cindy, thank you so much for joining me
Sure.
today. I really do appreciate it.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
I wish you the best of luck, and to any of those folks out there who are trying to think about someone to nominate, well, just open your mind, start looking around. You're surrounded by heroes, really.
We are, yeah, and you just have to be creative and think, well, it doesn't have to be somebody special or has a title. It can be anybody. If we can have a 6-year-old, we could have anybody.
Absolutely. Well, that's Cindy Patton with the City of Character. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We have spoken about a store called Mobertz for quite some time here. Chef Michelle comes in and talks about it all the time. Well, we've got the owners of Mobertz here. It's Al and Mary Jo Strutman. How are you guys?
Good,
Fine,
thanks.
Well, welcome, and we're glad to have you guys here. Now, you're in a very unique field. What you provide and what you do is something that's, not seen all over the place, right?
Right.
At least here in Topeka, it's
Right,
not. Tell us a little bit about what you specialize in.
We specialize in spices and herbs. We also carry sea salts and flavored sugars. We make our own blends, and recently we started carrying olive oils and vinegars as well.
And really, we've had some really delicious things that Chef Michelle's made with you.
Great.
Now I'm looking at some really interesting things here. Let's talk a little bit about some of these products here. What are these here? Like, is this how this is sold here in your store? You come in, you get seasonings. Now, what are we looking at?
Those are Aleppo pepper flakes, Chris.
Okay, I've never had Aleppo.
Aleppo is actually a name of a town in Syria, Aleppo, Syria, and that's where the flakes originate, the peppers. Actually, Aleppo, though, is in a war zone right now, so actually Turkey is growing the Aleppo pepper flakes and the peppers now. But Aleppo, some of the herbs and things that are grown over in Turkey have higher oil content than what you find grown in North America. So Aleppo pepper flakes have a lot of flavor to them, and the heat that's with them stays with you longer. So nice when cooking.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're a type of chili.
You know, a lot of people, I think they think pepper. It's pepper.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah. No.
It's not pepper at all.
And really, black pepper is quite distinct from a chili pepper, what we call a chili pepper. They're two totally distinct type of herbs and plants. So, yeah.
And okay, so we're looking at sea salts, and you do sea salts and sugars and those types of things.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about some of the specialty sea salts that you have.
Well, we have sea salts from around the world. So we have now, as they come out, as they're harvested out of the ocean, or like in the Himalayan sea salt, as they are harvested at the foot of the Himalayan mountains. But we also have several types of flavored sea salts, and we have smoked sea salts. And so those are sea salts that have actually been smoked over, in this case, alderwood. There's no artificial flavors or colors added to any of them. So if we have a lemon sea salt or a tomato sea salt, it's actually, they make a slurry out of that tomato. They spray it and tumble it with the sea salt, and then they dry it again, and then you have this wonderful end product of tomato sea salt.
Are you listening to this, folks? Because I didn't really know that tomato sea salt could exist, and I'm totally ready for something like it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come in.
Do you have a lot of people come into the store and just say, I had no idea that existed?
Right,
Do you have to give them some
right.
advice on how to use it properly?
Yep, we do a lot of that. We spend a lot of time talking with our customers and spending time and giving flavors and smells, and it's all about giving something a try for the first time. And
Now, where's your store located at? Tell us where we can find you.
We're at 8th and Gage, Via's. We're right there. We're between Via's and Gary's Guitar Shop, and then Iwig's Dairy's right there too. And
yeah, it's a great place to be. We're right close to Gage Park, and we've got great neighbors and a lot of kind of a neat little corner of the world over there.
A lot of people make food and they just don't. They leave the flavor off of it because they don't know what they're missing.
Right, and we were kind of talking about. My mom was a great cook, but we had a handful of spices and herbs, and that was it. And they were great. I mean, and they probably sat on her shelf forever until she ran through it. But it was great. But I said, but once, like he said, we started liking Thai food, and we started getting. It's like, man, and boy, you sure missed it if it wasn't there. And so that was. I mean, it's just kind of expanding those horizons. And then once you kind of have it, then you think, that was good. But then you're kind of getting the cheapest route you can possibly get, and then you say, oh, there's a quality difference. I mean, what I bought at the dollar store or at Walmart, I might be able to do a little bit better. And so, boy, when you start doing that a little bit better, it's so worth it. I mean, it's just so worth it. It's every bit worth it.
It's little tricks of the trade.
Right.
And you guys are there to show people
Right.
how to spice that food up and make it a little something that much more special.
Yes.
So you guys are at Moburt's, you're at 8th and Gage. Thank you so much. Al, Mary Jo, thank you so much for
Thanks for
joining us.
having us.
Really
Thank
do
you.
appreciate you coming by.
Oh, thanks,
and
Chris.
thank you for what you do, because I get to taste some products all the time that are made with your stuff, and it's like nothing else you've ever had.
Yes, Michelle is definitely talented.
Yeah,
She is.
All right. Well, you folks, I wish you the best, and please keep us updated with things as they happen with Mobertz.
We will.
Well, folks, besides my face, we're going to give you a reason to laugh today. We have Joshua Shore with So You Think You're Funny, the first Friday comedy showcase that we do at the Break Room. But you've got a show coming up called the Comedy Odyssey. Tell us about what's happening.
Like you said, it's our first Friday showcase show that we're doing here, Comedy Odyssey. We got 7 comedians stopping in and telling some jokes to Topeka. We look forward to seeing everybody out.
It's really cool. We've got a headliner for this one, and I have not seen this guy. Romy Lee is his name. Tell us a little bit about Romy.
Well, I met Romy at the Kansas City Improv. We did a show together for our good friend at So You Think You're Funny, Bart Beneke. He was on the lineup there, and he's just a very funny, solid, genuine guy, and put him on the show.
Excellent.
He's coming out, and he's going to deliver. He's a great guy.
There's a scene, a comedy scene, forming locally here, but Kansas City, Lawrence, all over the place. And a lot of those folks, we get to see them coming to Topeka. And that's a shock for many people, when we say we've got something in Topeka that they, draws them from Kansas City, Lawrence, and all that.
Well, I just think that we don't want to be left out.
Absolutely.
Anywhere there's someone that wants to laugh, there's people willing to tell a joke. So, of course, it's going to spring up, wherever people want to laugh at. So, Topeka is definitely, and our show at the Break Room, it's just a great place for comics to, it's another stop on the road. There's Lawrence, there's Kansas City, Salina, Wichita. Let's get Topeka in the mix.
That's how we do it T-Town style, right?
It is. That is how we do something. Like with this, we gesture a lot.
That's how we gesture, yeah.
T-Town.
We've seen some people that have been their very first time on stage, You know, and then they get up there, they do their stuff, they experiment for a while, and then they become somebody that is worth money to pay for, like a lot of money. But you have to do the work to get there.
Definitely.
It doesn't just happen. You can't be like, you know, I want to go into comedy, and so I think I'm going to make some business cards.
I mean,
and I'm going to be a comedian, and I'm going to put my name out there.
You can do that, but you're not gonna. Yeah, exactly. You're not gonna get the results that you think you're gonna get because you do have to pay your dues a little bit. You know, you gotta get up there on stage and have the light shine in your eye and eat it a couple of times. And you, at least for me, I've almost gotten to the point where even not doing well. I mean, for one thing, it teaches you something every single time, but it's almost fun because at a certain point, like, you can tell when something may not turn around in your favor, but you can still get all this work on your delivery, get all your material out there, present it the way it's supposed to be presented, and even if they don't laugh, you're always working on something. You're working on your timing, you're working on your delivery, and next time you're gonna get out there and get better. I mean, you just gotta put in the work. Get out there and get dirty a little bit.
It's always a highlight to hang out with all the folks that come to town for the comedy
definitely.
shows. Good times, good people, great night out. That's Joshua Shore. Thank you so much for joining us today and telling us about the Comedy Odyssey show. Of course, that's going to be the first Friday in February with the headliner Romeo Lee. So don't miss the show.
Yep.
Any last words?
Thank you.
Okay. Spoken like a true comedian, folks.
Spoken like spoken barely.
That works. Thank you. I'll leave you with the same thing. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Cut.
Perfect, man. That was great.